Are you a warrior? Good evening, America, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, just to begin this evening, I am presenting to you right here an awesome, and I mean awesome piece right here. And this is a 2024 1-ounce silver marble Spider-Man versus Green Goblin coin. Spectacular. These are part of a limited worldwide mintage of only 10,000 coins and are issued by the sovereign government of Niue. Check it out. The coin's verse features the Niue coat of arms along with the face value and year of issue. And of course, how could we forget, the reverse showcases an officially licensed image of Spider-Man battling the Green Goblin in a dramatic comic book style lightning bolt challenge. The Spider-Man versus Green Goblin rivalry is one of the most iconic in comic book history, combining action, personal stakes, and psychological drama. Spider-Man, driven by a sense of justice after the death of his Uncle Ben, faces Norman Osborn, a scientist who transforms into the chaotic Green Goblin. Their conflict is not just physical, it is a clash of philosophies, with Spider-Man fighting for protection and, of course, morality. While the Goblin seeks power and destruction, over time the Goblin targets Peter Parker's loved ones, intensifying their personal and emotional battles. This coin is a perfect gift for superhero fans, offering a commemorative piece of the legendary Spider-Man versus Green Goblin saga, a story of heroism, betrayal, and redemption. If you ask me, when I think of Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, I always think of Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe. Personally, I don't think it gets any better than that. It was so epic. I wish they would have never changed it and continued it into something else. And before we go any further, folks, I want to give a quick shout out this to my always loyal subscriber. This is Donald Jackson. Never follow the crowd. I am my own leader and my destiny to preserve my wealth. I've studied what has survived throughout history, and it wasn't people with fiat money. Even when the crime of 1873 occurred, when they made silver not money and you could only pay in gold, there was still a black market for silver because it will always be money. So stack both metals and prepare yourself in case they make one or the other illegal, so at least you have a little of both. Great comment coming from Donald Jackson, and it's so true, folks. You know, throughout history, they've made gold illegal, they've made silver illegal, they've made firearms illegal. But I would tell you right now, I am very, very confident we are far from them making silver illegal. Right now, we're in a time in history where so many people have the opportunity and the privilege to acquire as much silver as they want, and in turn can leverage themselves, going from lower middle class to upper middle class, going from upper middle class to rich, going from rich to wealthy, assuming you know what you're doing during this transfer, assuming you're moving your fiat into gold, you're moving your fiat into silver, you're moving your fiat into real estate, Bitcoin, ammunition, firearms, non-perishables, water, ideally a farm, a ranch, a well, a chicken coop, a garden. We want to be thinking, folks, for the next few decades, not the next few years. And everything that I just mentioned, you're going to want to be participating. You're going to want to know how to farm. You're going to want to know how to garden. You're going to want to know how to trade already in real time your made up money, your funny money for, real stuff. And when I say real stuff, gold, silver, Bitcoin, ammunition, firearms, non-perishables, water. I cannot stress this, folks. People think it's a joke until you absolutely need it. And we absolutely need water. We absolutely need food. We absolutely need precious metals, especially when we're seeing what's happening right in front of us. Everything's going away, folks. The world that we knew, it's all going away. In the 21st century, the battlefield has changed drastically. Nations no longer rely on swords and shields. Today, the real war is fought in boardrooms, central banks, and digital ledgers. Currencies rise and collapse with the single policy change. Inflation eats away purchasing power in real time, and the average family is left defensiveless as their savings evaporate. But standing quietly in the shadows of this chaos are modern warriors, men and women who refuse to let the system dictate their future. These are the silver stackers, the ones preparing for a world that rewards real value over illusion. That's the type of world I want to live in. I don't want to live in La La Land. I don't want to live in a made-up land, a land that I'm constantly being manipulated by, a land that I don't believe in. I want to live in reality. I want to know what's going on. I want to know who's manipulating me, who's betraying me. I don't want to be blindfolded. I know a lot of people want to live in illusion, live in quote-unquote peace, live by quote-unquote security. It's not real, folks, especially when you're constantly being betrayed by those you serve, constantly being manipulated by those you support. It doesn't work. Silver stackers understand something most people overlook. We're living in an age built on debt. Governments print money without restraint, promising prosperity while creating an invisible tax on everyone holding cash. Every dollar becomes worth less as the months pass. And while the masses shrug it off, stackers recognize the deception. They respond not with protest signs or political speeches, but with ounces. Ancient money that has survived every empire, every collapse, every reset in human history. Silver is their shield against a system that thrives on keeping people asleep. What makes silver stackers true warriors is their mindset. Unlike gamblers chasing quick profits, stackers think generationally. They understand discipline, accumulation, and of course, patience. They know that real wealth isn't built in a bull market. It's built when everyone else is distracted. While others chase trends or drown in consumer debt, stackers build defensive walls of metal that cannot be hacked, erased, or inflated away. Every ounce is a weapon against uncertainty, a reminder that the stacker is one step ahead of the storm. In a world obsessed with digital everything, possessing something tangible is an act of rebellion. Silver is real. You can hold it, hide it, trade it, pass it down. It doesn't require electricity, apps, passwords, or trust in a corporation. It is freedom in metal form, and stackers treat it that way. They prepare for the unthinkable. Bank failures, currency resets, geopolitical shocks, and technological overreach. They aren't pessimists. They're realists. And realism is a warrior trait. As global tensions rise and economies wobble, more people are waking up to the truth stackers have always known. The world is not as stable as it appears. Empires fall, markets crash, currencies die. But silver outlives them all. When the dust settles, those who stacked will be standing tall, armed with real wealth in a world hungry for something solid. In the end, 21st century warriors do not wear armor. They stack it ounce by ounce, steadily, patiently. While the world sleepwalks into the next crisis, silver stackers prepare And in the chaos to come, they will rise. But folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another evening, another episode of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you, God bless your household, and God bless America.